In this video, I'm taking you along on my first trip to San Diego, California. Luckily, I had an amazing tour guide on the trip, my girlfriend. There she is. She lived in San Diego for many years before, so we were really able to optimize our time there. Upon arrival, first thing was to get our luggage and get a rental car. San Diego isn't a super public transportation friendly city, so we knew a car was going to save us a lot of time and money over other options like Ubering to different neighborhoods, which you are definitely going to want to do here. After the flight, we were starving, so I had to get my #1 California food bucket list item checked off, In-N-Out. As expected, the burgers were great, the fries, not so much. We then drove through Little Italy, which is super cute for shopping and dining, before crossing over Coronado Bridge to check out a few things. See those buildings out there in the distance? That's downtown San Diego and the Gaslamp Quarter. First up was the Naval Air Station North Island. We were able to get on base since my girlfriend's in the Navy, but here's a close-up peek of one of the ships, the USS Theodore Roosevelt, and it was massive. Next was a stroll along Coronado Beach. We were visiting in early October, so there weren't any big summer crowds, but the weather was still beautiful. These buildings to the left are actually part of the famous Victorian Hotel del Coronado. Coming from the East Coast, I was clearly obsessed with the West Coast sunsets. Here you can see a bit more of the hotel as we drove off the peninsula and back to the mainland for some dinner. We went to one of Cali's favorite spots in Old Town, Cafe Coyote, which makes fresh homemade tortillas. We got the flautas, which were delicious. Day 2 was all about Ocean Beach, or OB as they call it. As you can see, this beach was even more popular, since OB is a big tourist area. It's definitely less ritzy than Coronado, but it's filled with beachy shops and food spots along the strip that make it really fun. We had lunch at the delicious OB Noodle House, and then stopped at Belching Beaver for a brew and to play some games, which I of course won. At least that's what I remember. As the day winded down, we headed to Sunset Cliffs to watch, as you may have guessed from its name, the sunset. The cliffs are another huge tourist spot, even here in the off-season, but for good reason. It's a wonderful place to hang out and enjoy San Diego's natural beauty. We saw families, couples, an engagement photo shoot, friends, and even some girls having a picnic, which I'm definitely going to do the next time I'm here. Day 3, we found ourselves at the Hillcrest Farmers Market. Hillcrest is the center of San Diego's LGBT scene, aka the Gayborhood. It's also home to one of the best markets in the city, which we spent a good portion of our morning in, getting food, drinks, and just wandering around the vendors. As you can see, it's pretty massive. Then we spent the afternoon aboard the USS Midway Museum, which is a historical naval aircraft carrier you can explore in downtown. Nearby is a popular photo spot, the Unconditional Surrender Statue, or the Kissing Statue. We grabbed a quick bite at Doghouse before strolling around Little Italy again. And we stopped to get dessert, whatever this thing is, from a place called iDessert. Day 4 brought on even more sweets with Donut Bar for breakfast. This is a hugely popular donut place in San Diego that definitely lives up to the hype. We got the Maple Bacon Bar, Giant Nutella Donut, and the Red Velvet Cake Donut. Their house specialty coffee with coconut syrup was also amazing. We walked things off in La Jolla, which is a must-see in my opinion. The area is super nice and the views don't get much better. If you go to the cove at certain times, you can see seals sunbathing on the beach. When we went, it was mostly pelicans and other birds. One of my favorite things about San Diego is that there are so many breathtaking views that you can spend time at without spending a penny. Well, you may have to pay a couple bucks for parking, but other than that, free. Including the Torrey Pines State Natural Reserve. This park is located off cliffs that overlook Torrey Pines State Beach, leading to an incredible view from above. I think it's time for a lunch break. We went to the tourist-loving but local-approved Lucha Libre taco shop for their surf and turf California burrito. Then it was time for the picturesque Balboa Park, which is home to the famous San Diego Zoo. We skipped the hefty zoo fees and enjoyed some other free nature instead, including the rose and cactus gardens. There's also a lily pond filled with koi fish right in front of the botanical gardens. which was impressive from the outside, but was even more beautiful on the inside. These are just a couple examples of some amazing things you can see while wandering around Balboa Park. To see more views from Balboa Park and San Diego, check out my Instagram at EverythingSara. Next on the list was trekking up Soledad Mountain for an amazing view at the Mount Soledad National Veterans Memorial. You can see all the way down to the beach. Our last dinner was happily spent at a meatball place called Soda and Swine. And our last morning was spent eating Roberto's breakfast burritos on Coronado Beach before catching our flight. So if you ever get the chance, I highly recommend visiting San Diego for its laid-back vibe, great food, and never-ending list of things to do. Let me know in the comments what's on your travel bucket list, subscribe for more videos, and thanks so much for watching.